So I don't know if you guys have heard about this story, but there is a Waffle House Avenger that went viral because she was a Waffle House worker who caught a chair literally as it was being thrown at her, as you guys saw in the video. Now, that video is actually pretty old, I think. It just went viral now. But she actually, there's a video of the entire fight. It has a weird cut in it where it cuts to like kind of the beginning of the fight. And one of the people ends up going up onto the counter and like kind of threatening them. And then that's when I guess she throws the sugar shaker at her. And so I guess there's the debate of like, oh, okay, well, did she start it? But it was like she was, the other person was coming up on the counter and like threatening them. So at that point, it's like, is it self-defense or how is that? If someone comes up to you like ready to like, swing or like threatening to swing, like, are you justified? That's kind of the question, right? But I think nobody's really going to be, I don't think there's any charges being pressed against the Waffle House Avenger. And I don't think that there's any like people who are really like, oh man, like she started it. But I do think a lot of people have only seen the video clip of the legendary chair grab. But here's an interesting story. It says Waffle House Avenger claims she was blacklisted by company following viral chair video. So she literally caught it in air. That's like one of the most legendary like things I've seen in my life, honestly. Literally catching that in the air that way, and the way she caught it was with like such confidence and swag. It was like, whoa, dude, like that was really impressive. I'm not gonna lie. That's better than any fight scene, any Jackie Chan scene, any of those kinds of scenes that I've ever seen in my life. But check it out. So it says, the woman named Halie recorded a 20-minute video telling her side of the story and recounting the events of that evening in detail, giving people an idea of what happened before, during, and after the fight. With an in-depth description of what exactly happened that night, Halie revealed that she's been blacklisted by Waffle House and can't work at Waffle House ever again. So you can check out her breakdown video. It's like 20 minutes long, so I can't show you. And then also I recommend check out the full fight video too, just to get like the whole, context of it. I'm not going to include that here because I don't want to get demonetized. There's a lot of violence in there. But, so it was just absolutely insane. There's a 2-minute video posted. But the story goes, it says, according to Halie, they were very busy that night. She was trying her best to keep up with the orders despite being understaffed. Still, due to insufficient resources to keep up with the restaurant full capacity, a section was closed off to keep things running as smoothly as possible. Halie claims that people who fought her tried to sit in this closed off despite being asked not to. We tell them, hey, that section is closed. If you could wait for a table, they're like, nah, we're good. We'll sit here. So not listening, obviously, to the employees, making their job more difficult, being very disrespectful and just shitty towards them. Halie said she ignored them and tried focusing on the restaurant's other customers. After a few minutes, these customers got up and started crowding around the counter. She refused them service, something they didn't take too well. I was telling them I was going to kick them out because they were being rude. I ain't going to cook your food. You're being rude to me. Understandable. That's like an understandable discrimination in terms of like service, right? Discrimination of service, like, oh, you're black, I'm not going to serve you. Totally wrong. Discrimination because you're gay, because like those arbitrary identity things, wrong. But if you're being a piece of shit to the workers, yeah, like screw you. You don't deserve to get served. They don't have to serve you. Screw you. You're not listening. You're being disrespectful to their time and their circumstances. So fuck you. Like, I totally understand. As things went off the rails when patrons started climbing over the counter and into her kitchen, quote, we can do anything we can legally in our means, whatever means necessary to remove you or ensure our safety. Whether that means taking one of the cast iron pans and hitting you upside the effing head with it or beating the effing out of you when you fall over. If you touch my floor, it's on. And that's understandable. So when the woman climbs up over the counter to like threaten her, it is like, yeah, that's at that point, that's self-defense. You're being threatened with violence and assault, crossing that line of getting up on the counter and doing those kinds of threats. So I would agree with that statement. I would say like it was like a self-defense thing. And so look, check this out, Waffle House Avenger. And so here's what it ends up saying. So it says, she continued to work at this Waffle House location for a bit before leaving, citing that she felt, quote, uneasy working there. According to Halie's retelling, the brawl took place much before the video went viral. In the video, she said she hadn't even eaten Waffle House in around 8 months, meaning the viral video could have been months old by the time it caught on. She did note, however, that Waffle House is, quote, a great company. They take care of their employees. Despite being told she was, quote, always welcome after leaving that store, Halie discovered that she was blacklisted by the company when trying to apply at another location. I can't ever work for a Waffle House again. I tried working for another one sometime earlier this year, and I found out that I was blacklisted. However, she said that it's possible the original location she worked at may still hire her. Halie made it clear that she still loves the company she spent 4 years working with, despite how things ended. So still some like good signs there, but it looks like they've blacklisted her, which is messed up. Like they should be rewarding her for what she did, for the self-defense that she was doing and standing up for herself. But honestly, the thing I have to say is, people, the number one problem here is businesses understaffing, not staffing properly because they're not willing, they're cheap, they're not willing to pay their workers what they deserve. And so right now, the quantity demanded of labor severely is outsupplying the quantity supplied of labor because the actual material conditions of working are so bad. And so in economics, it said that the labor market, when the labor force participation rate is low, it means that workers are looking at the potential for job opportunities and comparing it to the cost of taking said jobs. And if they're not taking those jobs, they're not participating in the labor force, it means that they're calculating that it's not worth it for me to work because they're not actually offering enough. So the solution is offer more and workers will come out in droves. The difference in labor force participation rate is it looks at the percentage of able-bodied, non-institutionalized adults who are looking for a job. Unemployment, who are in the workforce. Unemployment looks at people who are looking for a job who can't find one. So two totally separate statistics. Right now we're dealing with the labor force participation rate, not unemployment, because we have a labor shortage. So that's the first problem, right? So many businesses, basically every business is overstaffed, right? But the other thing is too, part of this is also on the customer's part too. Customers need to learn to taper down their demand from these human beings who are working so hard and being constrained. It breaks my heart, honestly, because I'll go to a store or a restaurant or whatever and like just show the most basic level of respect, and they'll show like the craziest level of appreciation. And I'm like, damn, like you shouldn't be in a position where you have to show so much appreciation to me because you say, hey, like I'll be with you in a minute. I'm like, yeah, take your time. And they're just like waiting. And like, man, when you like just wait like that 30 seconds or a minute, just like very patiently, they're just so thankful that you did that. And I'm like, damn, like that's so disgusting. We should not be in a society where they're thanking you for having the most basic level of decency humanly possible. That should be expected of customers. If you have to wait 60 seconds or a minute to get through the line at Target, or there's two Starbucks baristas busting their ass to serve like 20 drinks, be thoughtful and respectful and understand they're working their ass off. There's nothing they can do. I need to be patient and respectful and understanding. So part of this is customers being respectful. And this, again, that also goes into respecting the workers and their time and their capacities. And so please, as customers, taper it down. If you go into the line at Mod Pizza and they're like, hey, I'll be with you in a minute, be like, yeah, sure thing. Pull out your phone so you're not looking. Because if you're just staring at them waiting, they're going to be like feeling the pressure. It's going to be like, damn, like they're going to feel pressured. But if you just like pull out your phone, just chilling, you know what I mean? Like relaxing, like on Reddit or whatever, like, just chill. And even if you have something to do, like I get it, but they have stuff to do too. You know what I'm saying? So what are they supposed to do? Like it'd be a law or something? They're not a law. They're like getting paid dog shit wages. And it's crazy because it's like, this just goes to show you in terms of like the economical law of like, the laborers joining the market and the labor force are making their calculation. Like it's crazy how much stuff these minimum wage employees or barely above minimum wage employees have to do. They have to, basically control fights and drunk people and all this stuff. And they're not getting paid for any of this. Think of the emotional trauma that comes from a fight like that. There's so much, and all the cost that's coming from that's not being offset by it because they're getting paid dog shit wages, right? So it's just so horrible, and just goes to show you how much work it is to be a low skilled or unskilled laborer. It takes so much work and just so much effort. And it's heartbreaking to see our society being so horrible on both sides, because you have the supplier being horrible, not the supplier, but the businesses being horrible in terms of not paying their workers, and so it leads to shortages of labor. And then you have customers who are just blatantly disrespectful. Respect the workers, man. They're working their ass off. You shouldn't have to think this way, but imagine you were in their position and how horrible it would be for you. You shouldn't have to think that way, because you should be able to understand their experience without having to put yourself in their shoes. But if you need that, I guess that's what you have to do. But it's sad that she's getting blacklisted. I mean, she should be like revered as a hero, honestly. But pretty crazy stuff here.